Have you ever noticed a quiet, persistent heaviness in your bones or a fog in your mind that just won't lift, no matter how much rest you get? Many of us in our golden years face these silent ailments, from creaking joints to digestive troubles, that modern medicine often tries to hush with a colorful array of pills and temporary fixes. We live in an age of lab-created solutions, yet we find ourselves more fatigued and less vibrant than the generations that came before us. There's a profound contrast between the frantic pace of modern nutritional advice and the ancient, God-given solutions that have quietly waited for us in the pages of Scripture. For thousands of years, our ancestors didn't look to a laboratory for their strength. They looked to the garden and the field. They understood that healing isn't always found in a bottle, but often in the very meals God designed to sustain His people through the wilderness and into the promised land. I am David, and it is a blessing to spend this time with you today as we explore the profound wisdom of the Word. We're going to walk through 10 specific biblical meals that were not just meant to fill a stomach, but were designed by the Creator Himself to heal and restore the body instantly from the inside out. These aren't just historical curiosities. They are a blueprint for your health today. By the time we finish, you will see how these ancient combinations can boost your energy, soothe your inflammation, and clear your mind. We're going to stack these benefits one by one, looking at how the Father provided everything we need to thrive. Stay with me, because as we move through this list, the connections between ancient faith and modern biology will become impossible to ignore. It is a journey of returning to the basics that God established at the very dawn of time. I want you to pay special attention to the very last item on our list, because it reveals a secret hidden in the book of Deuteronomy that researchers are only now beginning to understand. It is a combination of 7 specific foods that creates a nutritional synergy unlike anything else on earth. Now, before we dive into these healing plates, I must share a quick word of common sense. I am a brother in faith sharing the wisdom of the Bible and historical health, not a medical doctor. Always talk with your healthcare provider before making big changes to your diet, especially if you are taking medications. We want to be wise stewards of the bodies God gave us. Now, let's open our hearts and our kitchens to the healing power of the Word. We are starting with a meal that was a lifeline for the weary traveler in the parched desert. Number 10 is the cooling cucumber mint yogurt bowl, a meal designed to rebuild the gut and restore hydration. In Numbers chapter 11, we see the Israelites wandering in the wilderness, and they begin to grieve for the foods they left behind in Egypt. Among the items they missed most were cucumbers, leeks, and garlic. In that hot, arid climate, these weren't just side dishes, they were vital survival tools. Most people today think of a cucumber as a simple salad topper, but in the ancient world, it was a hydration strategy. Cucumbers are over 96% water, providing a slow-release form of hydration that is far more effective than gulping plain water when your body is under heat stress. They also contain a specific compound called silica, which is essential for the health of your skin and your connective tissues. As we age, our joints need that extra support, and God provided it in this humble green fruit. But the real healing happens when you combine these sliced cucumbers with fermented goat's milk yogurt. You see, the ancient world didn't have the mass-produced cow's milk we see today. They relied on goats and sheep, whose milk has a much gentler protein structure. Modern research suggests that goat's milk produces far less inflammation in the human gut compared to modern commercial dairy. When this milk is fermented into yogurt, it becomes a living food, teeming with beneficial bacteria that act like a cleanup crew for your digestive tract. Then, we add fresh mint. Mint does more than just freshen your breath. It contains menthol, which interacts with specific receptors in your stomach to physically relax the muscles of the digestive tract. It's like a gentle hand calming a stormy sea inside your belly. A study published in the Journal of Digestive Diseases found that peppermint oil and fresh mint leaves can significantly reduce bloating and discomfort. If you struggle with a sensitive stomach, this cooling bowl is a godsend. I remember my own grandmother used to make a version of this on humid summer afternoons, and I never understood why it made me feel so refreshed until I looked at the science behind it. To make this at home, Simply dice a fresh cucumber, stir it into plain, unsweetened goat's milk yogurt, and fold in a handful of torn mint leaves. It is a simple, refreshing way to honor the temple God gave you. Number 9 is garlic and herb lentil soup, which I like to call the immune protocol in a bowl. If you were to sit down and try to design the perfect meal for your immune system using only what was available in the biblical world, you would almost certainly create this soup. We see the importance of lentils early in the Bible, most famously when Esau traded his birthright for a bowl of red lentil stew. While Esau's choice was spiritually poor, the meal itself was nutritionally rich. Lentils provide a massive amount of plant-based protein and slow-burning fiber that keeps your blood sugar steady for hours. But the secret weapon here is the garlic. In the ancient world, garlic was used as much as a medicine as it was a seasoning. When you crush or chop a clove of garlic, a chemical reaction occurs that creates a compound called allicin. Think of allicin as a natural shield. It has been shown in numerous peer-reviewed studies to fight off viruses, bacteria, and even fungi. A well-known study in the journal Advances in Therapy showed that people who took a garlic supplement or ate fresh garlic regularly had 63% fewer colds than those who didn't. And when they did get sick, their symptoms lasted for a much shorter time. By simmering lentils with a generous amount of garlic, onions, and herbs like cumin and coriander, you are creating a liquid defense system. Cumin is particularly interesting because it stimulates digestive enzymes, making it easier for your body to absorb the nutrients from the lentils. It's a beautiful cycle of nourishment and protection. One thing to keep in mind is that garlic can thin the blood slightly. So if you're on blood-thinning medication, just enjoy it in moderate food amounts rather than therapeutic doses. To get the most healing power from this meal, let your chopped garlic sit on the cutting board for about 10 minutes before you add it to the pot. This allows the allicin to fully develop. This soup has been a staple of the faithful for 5,000 years because it works. It's a warm, comforting hug for your internal defenses, reminding us that God provides for our strength even in the simplest of ingredients. Number 8 is the pomegranate and barley grain bowl, a combination that represents the beauty and the health of the temple. King Solomon's temple was adorned with carvings of pomegranates, and the fruit was even embroidered onto the hem of the high priest's robe. This wasn't just for decoration. The pomegranate was a symbol of life and fruitfulness for a reason. Modern science has discovered that pomegranates contain unique compounds called punicalagins. These are incredibly powerful antioxidants that are found almost nowhere else in nature. They are like a specialized repair crew for your arteries. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition has shown that drinking pomegranate juice or eating the seeds can help reduce the thickness of the walls of your carotid arteries and lower blood pressure. Now, when you pair these vibrant seeds with whole barley, you create a heart health powerhouse. Barley was the grain of the common people in Israel, and it is packed with something called beta-glucan fiber. This is a special type of fiber that forms a gel in your gut, which literally traps bad cholesterol and carries it out of your body. It's a natural way to keep your heart's pipes clear. Many people today have forgotten about barley, favoring white rice or processed wheat. But barley is what gave the ancient laborers their endurance. To make this healing bowl, cook a pot of pearled or hulled barley until it is tender. Toss it with a generous amount of fresh pomegranate seeds, some chopped parsley, and a squeeze of lemon. The vitamin C in the lemon actually helps your body absorb the iron found in the barley. It's a perfect example of how God's ingredients work together in harmony. This meal addresses the two biggest concerns for many of us as we age: heart health and chronic inflammation. It is a vibrant, colorful reminder that the same God who designed the intricate carvings of the temple also designed the intricate systems of your body. When we eat the foods He highlighted in His Word, we are essentially performing daily maintenance on the most important building we will ever inhabit. Number 7 is dates stuffed with nuts, the ultimate desert survival food that science is finally catching up to. The date palm is mentioned more than almost any other tree in the Bible, often representing righteousness and flourishing. For the desert traveler, dates were like a natural battery. They are packed with natural sugars like glucose and fructose, which give you an immediate boost of energy. But unlike a candy bar or a sugary soda, dates come wrapped in a heavy dose of fiber and potassium. This means the energy is released into your system more gradually, preventing that terrible crash we all dread. But the real magic happens when you stuff those dates with walnuts or almonds. In the ancient Near East, nuts were a precious source of healthy fats and protein. When you eat a date and a walnut together, the healthy fats from the nuts slow down the absorption of the sugar from the date even further. This creates a perfectly stable energy source that can keep you going for an entire afternoon. Walnuts are particularly special because they are shaped like a human brain, and interestingly enough, they are one of the best plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which are essential for brain health and memory. A study from the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging found that regular walnut consumption was associated with better cognitive performance in older adults. If you find yourself feeling a bit forgetful or tired in the mid-afternoon, this is the snack God designed for you. I often keep a few of these in my pocket when I'm out for a long walk or working in the garden. They are a portable nutritional system. Just be mindful that dates are very calorie-dense, so you only need 2 or 3 to feel the benefit. It's a sweet treat that actually heals. It's amazing to think that the same snacks carried by the patriarchs as they move their flocks are the same snacks that can help us maintain our mental clarity and physical stamina today. It just goes to show that God's design for human energy hasn't changed, even if our world has. Number 6 is a simple grape and goat cheese plate with fresh herbs, a combination that immunologists are actually studying right now for its unique benefits. The vine is one of the most powerful spiritual images in all of Scripture. Jesus said, "I am the true vine," and throughout the Old Testament, a vineyard was a sign of God's blessing. But beyond the symbolism, grapes are a medicinal marvel. Most of the healing power of a grape is found in its skin and seeds, which contain a compound called resveratrol. You may have heard of this in the news. It is a potent antioxidant that helps protect your cells from the damage that leads to aging and disease. It's like a fountain of youth hidden in a tiny purple globe. Now, when you pair fresh, whole grapes with a bit of aged goat cheese, you are creating a synergy between antioxidants and probiotics. Goat cheese is much easier on the digestive system for most seniors because it has smaller fat globules and a different protein structure than cow's milk. It provides a healthy dose of calcium for your bones and beneficial bacteria for your gut. Recent studies have suggested that the combination of fruit polyphenol and fermented dairy can enhance the survival of good bacteria in your digestive tract, making your immune system stronger. I like to add a few sprigs of fresh rosemary or thyme to this plate. These herbs contain volatile oils that have natural antimicrobial properties. It's a sophisticated, simple meal that requires no cooking, but offers a wealth of protection. It's the perfect light lunch for a quiet afternoon of reflection. When you sit down with a plate like this, you are participating in a tradition of eating that stretches back to the days of the prophets. You are feeding your body the very things God used to illustrate His relationship with us. It's a meal that nourishes the soul and the body at the same time, proving that God's provision is always elegant and effective. Number 5 is roasted lamb with dates and bitter herbs, a feast meal that was designed to rebuild the body after a period of trial or depletion. Lamb is the most ceremonially significant animal in the Bible, from the Passover in Egypt to the ultimate sacrifice of the Lamb of God. But from a health perspective, lamb was the primary source of high-quality protein and essential minerals for the people of Israel. It is particularly rich in heme iron, which is the form of iron that your body absorbs most easily. Many of us, as we get older, can struggle with low iron or anemia, which leaves us feeling weak and short of breath. Lamb is God's prescription for that fatigue. It is also one of the best sources of vitamin B12 and zinc. Zinc is crucial for your immune system and for the healing of wounds. If you've been feeling run down or are recovering from a cold, a meal of roasted lamb can feel like it's putting the life back into your limbs. In the biblical tradition, lamb was often cooked with bitter herbs like horseradish, parsley, or endive. These weren't just for flavor. Bitter herbs stimulate the production of bile and digestive enzymes, which helps your body break down the fats in the lamb. It's a built-in digestive aid. And when you add dates to the roasting pan, the fruit acids actually help tenderize the meat and make the minerals more bioavailable. I remember a time a few years ago when I was feeling particularly drained after a long winter. I started incorporating a bit of grass-fed lamb into my Sunday meals, and the difference in my energy levels was almost immediate. It felt like my body was finally getting the building blocks it had been craving. When you prepare this, try to source grass-fed lamb if possible, as it has a much better profile of healthy omega-3 fats. Roast it slowly with plenty of garlic and rosemary. It's a meal that celebrates life and restoration, reminding us that our God is a healer who wants us to be strong for the work He has called us to do. Number 4 is a simple dish of figs and almonds, a combination that represents healing that preceded modern medicine. There is a fascinating story in the book of 2 Kings where King Hezekiah was dying from a terrible boil. The prophet Isaiah didn't just pray for him. He told the servants to take a cake of figs and apply it to the boil. The king was healed. This wasn't magic. It was the use of a God-given medicinal plant. Figs contain an enzyme called phycin, which helps break down damaged tissue and has natural antibacterial properties. But when we eat figs, they provide a different kind of healing. They are one of the most mineral-dense fruits on the planet, packed with calcium, magnesium, and potassium. For those of us concerned about bone density, figs are a sweet and easy way to support our skeletal health. When you pair them with almonds, you are adding a dose of vitamin E and healthy monounsaturated fats. Almonds are mentioned in the Bible as one of the best fruits of the land, and they were even used as the model for the cups on the golden lampstand in the tabernacle. Modern research has shown that almonds are incredible for heart health and can help regulate blood sugar levels. A study published in the journal Metabolism found that eating almonds with a high-carbohydrate meal, like figs, can significantly lower the overall glycemic index of the meal. This means you get the sweetness of the fig without the spike in your blood sugar. It's a perfect partnership. You can enjoy this as a simple snack or even grind the almonds into a meal to make a simple biblical cake with chopped figs. It's a reminder that God's medicine cabinet is often found in the orchard. Every time you enjoy a fig, remember that God used this very fruit to heal a king. He can certainly use it to support your health and vitality today. It's a small, sweet testament to the fact that the Creator knows exactly what our bodies need to function at their best. Number 3 is a chickpea and olive salad, a meal that represents 10,000 years of evidence. While chickpeas aren't mentioned by name in every book of the Bible, they were the pulse, or the basic bean, that sustained the ancient Near East for millennia. They were the backbone of the diet for the common person. Chickpeas are a miracle of slow-release energy. They have a very low glycemic index, which means they provide a steady stream of fuel for your brain and muscles without causing inflammation. They are also rich in resistant starch, a type of fiber that doesn't get digested in your small intestine. Instead, it travels to your large intestine where it feeds the good bacteria in your gut. This process produces short-chain fatty acids that have been shown to reduce the risk of colon issues and lower systemic inflammation. When you toss these chickpeas with cold-pressed olive oil, you are adding one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory substances known to man. Extra virgin olive oil contains a compound called oleocanthal. Researchers have found that oleocanthal works in the body almost exactly like a small dose of ibuprofen. It inhibits the same inflammatory enzymes, but without the side effects that can sometimes bother our stomachs or kidneys. I like to make a big bowl of this salad at the start of the week with some lemon juice, garlic, and fresh parsley. It gets better as it sits. The longevity of the people in the Mediterranean and the Middle East is often attributed to this very combination of legumes and olive oil. It is a simple, humble meal that has stood the test of time. It reminds us that we don't need the latest superfood trend to be healthy. We just need to return to the foods that have supported human life since the very beginning. God didn't make health complicated. He made it accessible. A bowl of chickpeas and a drizzle of oil is a powerful statement of faith in God's simple, perfect design for our nourishment. Number 2 is barley bread dipped in olive oil, the daily bread that was actually a form of medicine. When we think of bread today, we often think of something soft, white, and full of preservatives. But the bread of the Bible was a different story entirely. Most of the bread eaten by Jesus and his disciples was made from barley. In the Gospel of John, when Jesus fed the 5,000, it was with 5 barley loaves. Barley is a hardy grain that can grow in poor soil, and it is a nutritional powerhouse. As we mentioned before, it is the king of beta-glucan fiber, which is essential for heart health and managing cholesterol. But it's also rich in selenium, a mineral that is vital for thyroid function and for protecting your cells from oxidative stress. When you take a piece of whole grain barley bread and dip it into a bowl of fresh olive oil, you are performing a daily ritual of health. The fat in the olive oil helps your body absorb the vitamins and minerals found in the grain. It's also incredibly satisfying. The combination of fiber and healthy fat sends a signal to your brain that you are full, which helps prevent overeating. This was the daily bread that kept the people of the Bible strong through long days of labor and travel. It wasn't a filler food, it was a foundation. I find that when I switch from modern processed bread back to a hearty, whole grain barley or sprouted wheat bread, my digestion improves and my energy stays much more consistent throughout the day. It's a small change that makes a big difference. It's a way of honors the petition in the Lord's Prayer. Give us this day our daily bread. When we eat the bread God intended, it truly does sustain us in every sense of the word. It is a reminder that God cares about our daily needs and has provided a perfect, simple solution for our hunger and our health. Number 1 is the 7 Sacred Foods Feast Bowl, a meal that is literally commanded in the book of Deuteronomy. In Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 8, God described the Promised Land as a land of 7 specific foods: wheat, barley, vines, grapes, figs, pomegranates, olive oil, and honey, often interpreted as date honey. For centuries, people saw this as just a list of crops. But when you look at these 7 foods through the lens of modern nutrition, something miraculous appears. These 7 items together provide a complete spectrum of everything the human body needs to thrive. The grains provide the fiber and B vitamins. The grapes and pomegranates provide the powerful antioxidants for the heart and blood. The figs provide the minerals for the bones. The olives provide the healthy fats for the brain and the anti-inflammatory compounds. The dates provide the energy and the digestive enzymes. When you combine these into one meal, perhaps a large salad of cooked barley and wheat berries, tossed with grapes, figs, and pomegranate seeds, dressed with olive oil and a touch of honey, you are eating a meal designed by God Himself to be the ultimate restoration. Scientists have found that the synergy between these specific foods is extraordinary. For example, the fats in the olives help you absorb the antioxidants in the pomegranates and grapes. The fiber in the barley helps regulate the natural sugars in the dates and honey. It is a perfectly balanced system. There is no other list of foods in any ancient text that holds up to this level of nutritional scrutiny. It is as if the Creator left us a cheat sheet for perfect health. When you eat this 7-species bowl, you aren't just eating a meal. You are participating in a divine prescription. It is the ultimate healing meal because it covers every base: heart, gut, brain, and bones. It is a beautiful, delicious way to experience the abundance of the Promised Land right at your own table. It reminds us that God's plan for us is always one of wholeness and flourishing, if we only have the ears to hear and the heart to follow His lead. When we look back at this list, from the cooling cucumber to the sacred feast of Deuteronomy, a rhythmic pattern begins to emerge. We see God's hand in the hydration of the cucumber, His protection in the shield of the garlic, and His strength in the fiber of the barley. We see His beauty in the pomegranate, His energy in the date, and His peace in the calming mint. We see His restoration in the roasted lamb, His healing in the fig, and His endurance in the humble chickpea. Each of these meals is a thread in a tapestry of wellness that God has been weaving since the beginning of time. They aren't just random ingredients. They are a coordinated system of care for the human body. When we align our eating habits with these biblical patterns, we aren't just going on a diet. We are returning to a way of life that honors the Creator and the creation. We are choosing to trust ancient wisdom over modern convenience. This is the path to a health that is deep, resilient, and lasting. It is a way of eating that recognizes that our bodies are not our own, but were bought with a price and are intended to be used for God's glory. As we age, this becomes even more important. We want to have the strength to serve our families, to pray for our communities, and to finish the race that God has set before us with joy and vitality. Healing is rarely a lightning bolt from the sky. More often, it is a slow, steady process of daily nourishment. It is found in the quiet choices we make at the grocery store and in our kitchens. It is the result of returning to the ancient paths and finding the rest for our souls and our bodies that God promised. These 10 meals are an invitation to experience that healing. They are a reminder that God has not left us without guidance, even in the most practical areas of our lives. The wisdom of the Bible is not just for our spiritual health. It is for our physical wholeness too. As you begin to incorporate these foods into your life, don't rush. Take it one meal at a time. Listen to your body and notice how it responds to these God-given ingredients. You might find that the fog begins to lift, the joints start to move more freely, and the energy you thought was gone forever starts to return. This is the beauty of God's design. He takes the simple things of the world, a bean, a fruit, a drop of oil, and uses them to do extraordinary things. Ancient wisdom has returned to our tables, and it is a gift we should receive with gratitude and joy. I want to encourage you to pick just one meal from this list to try this week. Maybe it's the simple chickpea salad or the refreshing cucumber yogurt bowl. Whatever you choose, I would love to hear about it. Leave a comment below and tell me which one you're starting with, or share a story of how biblical eating has changed your health. Your testimony can be such an encouragement to others in our community. If this message has been a blessing to you, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so we can continue this journey of faith and wellness together. Share this video with a friend who might need a little bit of God's healing wisdom today. It is such a joy to grow in health and spirit with all of you. Now, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May He make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May He lift up His countenance upon you and give you peace and the strength to live fully in the health He has provided. Until next time, stay strong in the Lord and in the power of His might. Amen.